Hi guys, Hasina here. Happy end of 2018. Happy winter solstice. Happy upcoming holidays. Happy post holidays for those who celebrate Hanukkah. I felt like chatting today before the end of the year and putting something out. I have a smoothie here, so don't mind me. I'm going to sip it a little bit. Um, Something is on my face. Um, there's some good stuff I want to talk about. I want to dive in. It takes me a minute to warm up. So, let's give me that second. Um, I don't know. I never want this to feel automated. It needs to, for me to continue to feel very authentic and very kind of like fluid and flowing. So even when I say like, hi guys, Asina here, or I notice like when I watch YouTubes or different channels, they're like, welcome to my channel and stuff. And maybe one day I will get to that, but I don't know, it feels too separate for me. Even the hi guys I've seen it here I don't know. I haven't figured out the greeting. I just want you guys to know that I'm here and I'm saying hello, and I am grateful for this moment, this connection between us. Um, is that what was on me? There we go. Um, Something that came up for me, and I think it's not gone. Whatever. I'm gonna ignore it. Um, Something that came up for me yesterday. It was kind of almost like a walking meditation. Like I just had a moment. You have a moment, sometimes you're just being quiet in your mind and you're doing something and just something just comes. I know some people call it channeling. Um, and yesterday, the thought that came to me was that none of this is real. Now, I know that's been said before, but it came to me with more clarity. None of this is real, and not to get it confused for being fake. Gaia is real. Mama Gaia is real. This earth is real. But the societal constructs, they are not real. And not real in meaning that they are malleable, they are bendable, they are changeable. So even though we've been doing things the same way forever in our personal lives, in our communities, in society, in government, it does not have to be this way. We can always open ourselves up to change and the change that we feel in our hearts that maybe we're too afraid to admit or connect to, um, that we can change. That just because we've been doing something the same way forever doesn't mean that it has to be so. And when we give ourselves that kind of freedom, we get to find out new things about ourselves. So that came to me in my mind, my guide's channel, I don't know. But man, it took me for a loop, because normally when people say, if you're into, I don't want to say new age, but like new age, spiritual speakers, they say, oh, none of this is real. Sometimes it makes you feel like, well, what's the purpose? What was the point of me doing everything that I've been doing and striving for and wanting it to achieve? And I'm saying sometimes people. I'm talking about me, definitely. But saying that it's not real because, in the sense that it's not firm, it's not something that can never be moved or shifted or bended. And that felt very good to me. That felt like possibility. That felt like, even though I think I know, there's so much more left to know. And that just felt so hopeful. Especially coming, that thought came to me yesterday during winter solstice. And that felt so good in my spirit. Because, I think that's something that's just always sitting with me. Well, what's next? Is anything next? Does anything matter? And it does. And what I'm noticing now is sometimes the gifts come in ways that we don't expect. And that doesn't mean it's not the gift. Another thing that came for me actually today, in my previous video, I talked about some of my health struggles, my weight struggles, and the thing that came to me today was that things aren't necessarily linear. I've seen the posts online, I've reposted the posts online about healing is not linear. And that I understand. And I had to learn it the hard way. But that some people live almost linear lives. Like, they start from point 1 and they go on to 10. And that has never been my life. Ever. So even with, the not feeling well at the time, it's weird for me to have the expectation that it would. If I had just considered my history in every other facet of my life. I just don't live a linear life. Some people, they're, if they don't feel good, they go to the doctor and then the doctor says it's X, Y, and Z. That's not right. That doesn't happen to me. It's usually, we don't want and we don't know, let's explore. Or I'm like, I'm going to do this. And when I do this, because I did the research, X, Y, and Z is going to happen for me. And it's like, okay, yeah, you did the research and that's great, but it ain't going to work out like that. And I used to just keep thinking I was failing. And now I realize I'm not failing. I just don't move this way. I move like this. Up, down, side, 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 back, cross, back, here we go, there. And that's fucking beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is that I keep thinking it has to be another way. What's wrong is me not actually acknowledging that seems to be my flow state. And it can change, because like we said, anything's possible. Anything can change. Anything can happen. But why consider that a failure? The failure would be not acknowledging it and not honoring it. And sometimes, because you're so forced into looking in a linear way and looking for such concrete evidence of what is showing you that you're on the right path, that you don't get to see the little nuggets that are happening every single day. I'll even give you like a real frivolous example. I was, on Facebook, you show like the little memories, and I saw a photo of myself from like 2 years ago. And my hair was like, it was blonde then and it was like blown out. And I really loved the pictures. It was for like a party, holiday. And I remember that was like the last day before my hair was like completely fucking damaged. I knew the minute that I did my hair that day that I had fucked it up. There was a way for me to do it that it would have been fine. But I was rushing and I was so committed for my hair to turn out the way that it did. So from the next day on, I was struggling with my hair. Struggling because I know, like, if you've seen me or you know me, you're gonna be like, it looks the same to you. But it didn't feel the same. It didn't feel like it was moving the same. So I was just like, oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's terrible. Sidebar, that's not even why like I started wearing like extensions and wigs and stuff. It was just finally like, well, I need to leave this shit alone now. I finally get the opportunity to, explore these things more. So fast forward to today. And I had not today, but like, the past few months. And I was like, I keep thinking of my hair as damaged. And I keep thinking my hair is fucked up. But it hasn't been that way in a while. It hasn't been that way for a long time. It hasn't been that way for so long that I can't tell you when it was finally healed up. Because I was so committed to the process being this way. Well, it's fucked up. And so I'm going to live in that until something big and concrete shows me that it's not that way. And that's not how it worked. I just did what I was supposed to do in terms of like taking care of it. And then it wasn't anymore. But when it wasn't anymore, I was so committed to the painful parts and looking for this big aha moment that I couldn't even see it. So it was only recently I was like, damn, it's pretty healthy. Which is fucking bonkers. And we all do it all the time. Because we're always looking for these grandiose moments. And maybe that's just not how life works for some of us. I'm sorry, that's the heater. But maybe that's just not how life works for some of us. And there's nothing wrong with that. If we can just find moments, and I am talking to me, don't get it twisted, I am talking to me. Find moments, I think my neighbors are having some trouble. Find moments where we just acknowledge the small things that rock. The small things that push us forward. The small things that are so dope. Like, it's not Christmas yet, but I have all the gifts that I need. I can walk around a lot more outside than I ever could just a couple of years ago. And I was too busy doing it to even notice. And at one point I just stopped and I was like, oh shit, I am really outside right now. That is dope. Then I come home and I have my little fur babies. And sometimes when I open the door, they are so excited. They're like running off. Now these are cats. These are not dogs. They are running all over the house, trying to get all the rubs, wrapping their tail around my ankle, jumping up into their cat tree, jumping back down. I mean, going for broke. And they saw me earlier today. I mean, sometimes I come here and I feel like a fucking celebrity because of my little fur babies. That's such a gift. Just that kind of like feeling that another being is showing and demonstrating a way to show you that they care about you. What a fucking gift. What a gift. I'm not at the weight I'd like to be. I'm not at the size I'd like to be. But you know what? Last year, around this time, I'm like finding words because I don't know how much I want to say. I was so not well that it was affecting my life in terms of whether I was going to live. I don't know how to say it in a better way because that sounds way more serious to me than how I feel about it. But now I'm just like, oh, I'm a little chunky. And then keep in mind, every day I'm not like this. Sometimes I'm like, fuck. But that's my only problem. My health is phenomenal right now. I'm just trying to get my body to match movement-wise how I feel about it. But even that, like when I talk about, oh, I'm not in the shape I want to be. I just did a fucking half marathon. And I live to tell, and I'm fine, and I feel good. So it's like, there's all these gifts you're constantly being given. And you can fucking miss them. And I don't want to miss any. I don't want to miss any anymore. Like down to like a little shit. Like I finally got the right shade of black for my hair, and I'm like, I like it. I'm so happy, and that's like so fucking small. But damn it, it's something that makes you feel good, man. dope. Don't forget how the small things are dope. So if you're celebrating Christmas, if you're celebrating the holidays, if you're celebrating Festivus, enjoy your gifts that are being given to you. Also enjoy the gifts that have always been around. That's all I got. Blessings to 2018. Big, 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 big welcome to 2019. So much love I send to you. So much peace I send to you. So much joy I send to you. We will talk soon. One love.